Madam Mac-Ozigbo of National Open University of Nigeria. I'm here again for another session of Human Resource Management class BUS 809. Our topic for today is motivation, and we'll be discussing forms and types of motivation, theories of motivation, implications of motivation for management practice, and others. Please stay tuned as I promise you a great time. Thank you. Topic 5. Motivation. Aside from providing economic security, work adds meaning to life. It gives one this identity and feeling of self-worth. It grants status and a feeling of belongingness to people who work in a given organization. A satisfying job can be self-fulfilling. Invariably, work has a bearing on one's emotional state and physical well-being. It has effect on marital, parental, and community roles of people. In spite of the above facts, research has shown that many people are not satisfied with their jobs. Job satisfaction has been linked with variables like absenteeism, labor turnover, labor performance, and productivity levels. Industrial work observers are concerned with the gap between potential and actual performance is widening. It is believed that appropriate motivational strategies by management will result in considerable benefits to both parties, labor and management. However, management should try to find out the reason why an individual wants to work, and behavioral scientists have found out that certain needs drive people toward certain goal achievement. This drive is known as motivation. This drive within human beings might lead them to get involved and to use their intellect to achieve desired goals. Let us try to define motivation. What is motivation? Motivation is the process of supplying incentives adequate enough to induce deliberate and purposeful action. Motivation in relation to work could be defined as the condition of being influenced to do something. It is the process of influencing workers to give off their very best to their organization. Motivation is a driving force that stimulates an individual, that is, an employee, into action in order to achieve his or her organization's objectives. It is also described as the willful or volition acts on the part of an individual. The key to understanding motivation lies in the meaning and the relationship between needs, drives, and goals. The need set up drives to accomplish goals. A need simply means, deficiency, and needs are created as a result of psychological or physiological imbalance. Drive can also imply motive, and goal we can define as anything that can alleviate a need and consequently reduce a drive. Therefore, how best to motivate an individual to achieve desired objectives has long been one of the world's most important, difficult, and controversial problems. Let's take a look at forms of motivation. We have fear, financial incentive, advancement, affiliation, and competence motivation. We can take them one after the other. Fear as a motivation is one of the oldest and perhaps the most widely used for monitoring workers. This type of motivation plants fear in the minds of employees, and such employees will always get things done on the platform of threats, on the platform of punishment, and so on. Then we have financial incentives. This has to do with increase in pay, granting of bonuses on the basis of personnel appraisal rather than, an automatic standard. Money is an important incentive in the society, we all know. So, and we have advancement motivation, regular promotion of workers based on adequate personnel appraisal. The personnel appraisal scheme, this could form the basic core of the employee performance for high job performance in organization. And we have affiliation motivation. This is a drive to relate to people. Affiliation motivated people select friends to surround them. Just like you have achievement motivated, persons selecting assistants who are just competent, regardless of personal feelings about them. So, affiliation motivation is real. Then we have competence motivation, and this is a drive to do quality work. Competence motivated employees are always interested in the technical aspect of their job. They are blind to any form of human factor of work, and all they seek is job mastery and professional growth. Please pause at this point and take activity 1. List all the goodies the management of your organization has just put in place to motivate employees to work harder. Theories of motivation. Let's start with Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Abraham Maslow, a psychologist, developed the theory of human motivation. He classified human needs into 5 categories and in a hierarchical manner. That is, movement from one need to another, particularly after a need has been satisfied. The 5 needs, according to Maslow, are enumerated here. You can see them. So let's take them one after the other. Let's start with the one below, the physiological needs. The physiological need is a need for food, for drink, for shelter, for relief from pain, and they are required for maintaining the body in a state of equilibrium. That is survival. The next one is safety needs, or you can say safety and security needs. The need for freedom from threats, that is threatening events and situations. The need for necessarily, this particular need does not necessarily mean just physical safety, alone. But it also includes psychological safety and security. For example, provision for the future, for insurance scheme, confirmation of appointments, and so on. The next one we have here is belongingness and love needs. The need for friendship, the need for intimacy, the need for affiliation, interaction, and love. This is called social needs also. Management can reinforce these needs by providing recreation and providing other facilities that are related to recreation for workers to enhance interaction. Next, we have esteem needs, and these include the desire for self-respect, strength, achievements, competence, confidence, independence, and freedom. It also includes the desire for reputation or respect or esteem from other people. Talk about status, dominance, recognition, and attention. However, these needs can be satisfied through acquisition of power in the work environment or in the workplace. And finally, we have the self-actualization needs. The self-actualization need is a need to fulfill ourselves by maximizing the use of abilities, skills, and potentials. It could be said that emergence of these needs rests upon prior satisfaction of the other needs earlier discussed. Next is Herzberg's two-factor theory. Friedrich Herzberg propounded two-factor theory of motivation. He says that man has two different sets of needs, one lower level, for instance, basic needs, and a higher level set of needs. This is, however, unique to human characteristics, the ability to achieve and to experience psychological growth. There are a set of extrinsic job conditions which result in dissatisfaction among employees, and they are not present. However, if they are present, they do not necessarily motivate workers. These conditions are needed to maintain a level of no dissatisfaction. So let's take a look at the maintenance, hygiene factors, and the motivational factors. Here we have maintenance or hygiene factors. Under this, we have wages and salaries, job satisfaction, working conditions, status, company procedure administration. We have quality of technical supervisors and quality of interpersonal relations. Considering wages and salaries, and these are actually the rewards for labor. Employee rewards are of two types, financial and non-financial. Wages and salaries are financial rewards, and they include things like insurance coverage, profit sharing, talk about pensions, etc. While non-financial rewards include good working conditions, for instance, recognition for exceptional achievement, and other types of job benefits. In fact, a company should be careful in the administration of wages and salaries. If workers are underpaid, they become dissatisfied. And if they are overpaid, a company's products may be overpriced in a competitive market. And the next is job satisfaction. This is the favorableness or unfavorableness with which employees view their work. It results when there is a fit between job characteristics and the wants of employees. It expresses the amount of congruence between one's expectations of a job and the rewards that the job provides. Therefore, job satisfaction involves expectations compared with receivable rewards. The next is working conditions. Working conditions. Within the organizational climate, certain working conditions must be provided to motivate workers. And working conditions will include wage rates, seniority recognition, things like pension, paid holidays, and other fringe benefits. And then we have status. This is referred to, as the social rank of a person in comparison with others in a social system. Status may be both formal and informal. And formal status refers to the rank of people as designated by the authority structure of an organization. And informal status refers to the social rank according to rank, the rank accorded to people because of maybe feelings toward them. In fact, it is the position that one has in an informal social system. Then we have company procedure or company, you can say company policy or administration. Each organization, no matter how small, has its own policy concerning how many people will be governed within the organization. And this is regarded as company procedure. It includes personnel policies, includes marketing, production, etc. And to motivate workers, all this must be adequately put in place. And we have the quality of interpersonal relations. And quality of interpersonal relations refers to the type of interactions that exist between persons within an organization. This is a kind of chain relationship within any organization, as well as interactions that exist. Therefore, the interpersonal relationship between the managers and the people they manage must be conducive and not hostile. So we have now seen that when this is done, workers are motivated, and on the other hand, there must be a set of intrinsic job conditions that exist, and this will operate within the job that can increase the level of motivation and good job performance. Very, very important here. The next set of factors are called satisfiers or motivators, or in fact, let's say motivational factors. And these include achievement, recognition, responsibility, advancement, the work itself, and the possibility of growth. These are all self-explanatory. Herzberg's model provides new insights into organizational behavior. And one major insight is the idea of job enrichment. And according to Herzberg, building more motivation factors into them should enrich jobs. Next is McClelland's learned needs theory. McClelland proposed a theory of motivation which closely associates with learning concepts. He believed that many needs were acquired from culture, and he laid emphasis on the 3 needs. What are those needs? We have need for power, the need for affiliation, and the need for achievement. Let's take them one after the other. A person with a high need for power concentrates on obtaining and exercising power and authority, and he's concerned with influencing others, with winning arguments. Well, power can be positive if it expresses persuasive or inspirational behavior, but it can as well be negative if it emphasizes dominance. So the theory of McClelland here shows that these needs are learned through coping with one's environment. So since needs are learned, behavior which is rewarded recurs at a higher frequency. Then we have the need for affiliation. This actually reflects a desire to interact socially with people. A person with high needs for affiliation is concerned about the quality of personal relationship. This then implies that a social relationship is given priority over task accomplishment. So we have the next one as needs for achievement. And here a person tends, or someone likes to take responsibility for solving problems. The person will always set moderate achievement goals, and he is inclined to take calculated risks. And also here, the person desires feedback on performance. Next is Vroom's expectancy theory. Expectancy theory centers mainly on how motivation occurs, and there are three major elements in the expectancy theory according to Vroom, and these are choice, expectancy, and preference. Choice simply represents the individual's willingness and freedom to select and pick from a number of alternative behaviors. In fact, the theory suggests that individuals are motivated at work to make choices among different behaviors or intensities of work efforts. For example, a worker may decide to work fast or slow, hard or moderate, may decide to stay at home or come to work. And in some cases, working fast may lead to more pay if compensation is simply based on the number of units produced. So if a worker believes that his or her effort at the work place will be rewarded adequately, he or she will make a choice to work so that he or she can receive the reward that follows. Therefore, the logic of expectancy motivation is that individuals will exert work effort to achieve performance, which will result in preferred rewards. Then we have expectancy, which is the belief that a particular act will be followed by particular outcomes. We can put it in another form. It is the belief that a particular behavior will or will not be successful. So it is a subjective probability. It represents employee judgments of the probability that achieving one result will lead to another result. So expectancy will be 0, for instance, if a person believed that it was impossible to produce, say 20 units of output per day. So we now understand the concept of expectancy under Vroom's expectancy theory. The next is preference. The values a person associates with various outcomes are regarded as preference. The outcome here can be in form of rewards or punishments. And according to Vroom, the preferences are also referred to as valences. And therefore, valences will always mean the strength of a person's preference for one outcome in relation to others. So that is it for Vroom's expectancy theory. Motivation, implications for management practice. From our discussion on the theories of motivation, several implications for managers can be derived. And these are, number one, managers should recognize and try to develop a better understanding of human behavior. That is, if they are to create a climate that encourages greater employee performance and satisfaction. Then the next, we have human needs that are reasonably well satisfied motivate behavior. Yes, management should devote more of its attention towards providing a climate for the satisfaction of the upper level needs of esteem and self-actualization. And then we have personnel have been underutilized and over-managed. So organizations should try to provide more responsible and challenging jobs that allow a greater degree of self-control by the individual. Then, creation of recreational facilities in many organizations. Creation of recreational facilities in many organizations. Organizations such as, facilities such as maybe staff clubs, company canteens. These are byproducts of motivational theory. And all these were borrowed from Maslow's social theory of needs and are greatly in use today by managers. Then The next is the increased popularity of vertically expanding jobs to allow workers, this is to allow workers greater responsibility in planning and controlling their work, because this is attributed to Herzberg's findings and recommendations. And finally, employees have been successfully trained to stimulate their achievement needs. If the job calls for a high achiever, management can select a person with a high achievement drive, and that's what it is. At this point, please take a pause and complete activity 2. Explain one of the content theories of motivation you are familiar with. In summary, different employees have different needs and aspirations, and the motivational factors for one individual may not be the same for another person. Therefore, a manager must evaluate each person in order to determine what will stimulate that person to exert effort above and beyond what is normally expected. And if possible, an environment should be created such that each employee can be motivated to his or her fullest potential. Therefore, the manager must be capable of adapting his or her motivational approach to meet the needs of personnel in a changing environment. In addition to the major theories of motivation, managers should also develop an understanding of the role of money as a motivator and the importance of equity between an individual's performance and the pay he or she receives. Thank you.